Okay, we are going to look at some more volume problems today. You don't have to take notes on these if you really want to. Knock yourself out. But I would say just watch and kind of see how these problems are working out. When you watch the Brain Pop video and take the little quiz, they're asking you some questions kind of like these. So I wanted to go over what they were talking about. So we've been talking about volume of prisms this week, and I've got two prisms on here already. We've got a triangular prism up here at the top, here, and we've got a rectangular prism down here underneath, and we've already got some information. We know that the volume of the triangular prism is 168 cubic centimeters, and that it has a height. Remember that distance between the two bases is called the height of 8 centimeters. So with that information, what can we do? It seems like we already have the answer we need, right? We already know the volume. But what if they want you to work backwards and figure out what's the area of the base, which means the area of that blue triangle? Well, if we start at the end, we know 168. We would get that volume by multiplying the area of the base, the blue part, times the height, which is the 8. So if we want to go backwards, we can divide the 8 out of there. And I did the work somewhere on another piece of paper here. And if I take 168 divided by 8, I get 21. And so what that would tell me is if the formula is volume is equal to area of the base times the height. Well, if I take the volume and divide the height out, what I'm left with is the area of the base. So I know that that triangle has an area of 21 square centimeters because I worked it backwards. Okay, so the second one, I've got a rectangular prism with a volume of 252 cubic inches, and I can do the same thing, work it backwards. If I start at the end with the volume, 252 divided by 9, and if I work that backwards, and again, I have it already on another piece of paper, so I know what the answer is, and if I do that, I get 28, which tells me, again, that the area of that blue rectangle is, whoops, I don't know why I wrote 29, 28 square inches, right? And then so another question that might get asked, hint in Brain Pop, is okay, if you know the area of that rectangle is 28 square inches, what might the sides of that rectangle be? Well, we don't know for sure, but we know that 4 times 7 is 28, so maybe this is 4 and this is 7, and that's a question mark because the question they ask you is what could the lengths of those sides be, and that's one possibility. It could also be 2 and 14 because 2 times 14 is 28, but looking at the way the picture's drawn, 4 and 7 are the multiples that we're most familiar with that equal 28. So the lengths of the sides of that rectangle might be 28. 4 times 7 is 28, and 28 times 9 gets us back to the 252. So remember, if you have to work it backwards from starting with the volume, you're dividing the height out of there, right there, to get you back to the area of the base. And because sometimes that's the question that they're asking you. All right, that's it for today.